builders of the pyramids of Giza and the millions of hands who sculpted the Great Wall knew that when you build something, you built it to last. In 1776, a new country was founded, one built on the ideals of liberty and equality, a place where every man is an architect of his own fortune. With that hope, we manifested our own destiny, built a country that reaches sea to sea, from the Angle Inlet to the Rio Grande. But the road to establishing Texas was not a smooth one. For many presidios and missions along the Las Colinas Reales failing to thrive, the few tough enough to stay often were found on ranchos. In the haciendas, El Patron lived in the stone building, while workers lived in jacales. Even then, the superior building product was masonry. Despite the hierarchy, all within these communities relied on each other, and especially on the vaquero. With grit running through their veins, in 1821, Mexico achieved its independence, and Texas strained to identify itself with Mexico. In hopes of rebuilding the economy after a long war, immigration into Texas was encouraged. Soon after, Tejanos, the original Texas settlers, were outnumbered by Anglos 6-1. Revolt against Mexican dictatorship split allegiances and divided families. With a culture and history rooted in Mexico, yet powerful loyalty to their new home, Tejanos and the new arrivals, calling themselves Texians, fought side by side in Gonzales, at the Alamo, and San Jacinto, all united under the phrase, Texas forever. In Texas, our traditions, our architecture, and our history have always belonged to all of us. Germans, Czech, English, Native Americans, Spaniards, Mexicans, African Americans, each bringing their own cultural influence and building style to Texas. From Spanish colonial revival, known as Mission Revival, with its Spanish influence and Tejano roots, to Greek revival, passed down over hundreds of years from the East, sometimes found with Gothic influence, recognized easily by Germans in Fredericksburg. In the wake of Civil War reconstruction, Victorian rich detail ravished Texas towns, even bringing Spanish and French influence back into style. Over time, every locale brought its own flavor to modern design, with some styles even boasting the Texas name. And of course, as technology grew, so did the buildings. These styles and community fixtures serve as stepping stones, allowing us to recognize the past and give a nod to it, while still blazing a path into the future. As in our past, today, these remain the same. The population is growing, the construction industry is booming, and the competition to find enough tradespeople is brutal. Like the hacienda system, we must be a community that relies on each other, industry segment to segment, experienced to untrained. In Texas and in Masonry, we're proud of our roots and our traditions, and of our people, who are still bold enough to stand up for what they believe, who aren't afraid of hard work or dust, and who continue to build a better life for themselves and their future. So as we continue to fight to build our trade, we leave you with a line as foundational to Texas as the Tejanos themselves. Texas, we challenge you to come and build it.